G'day, Lone Mojo here with 5 more tips for playing Valheim. Before we get going, if you do find this video useful, please consider subscribing to the channel and that'll really help us out. Now, on to the tips. One of the challenges you're going to continually face during your time in Valheim is stability of structures. Luckily, the game provides you with some really good visual cues that will show how stable your structures are. Now, when an item is glowing blue when you've got the build tool activated, it means that the item is grounded. It's as stable as it can get. Building off of a stable item, you'll notice that the colour will change from green to yellow to orange and then finally to red. Anything that you place on a red structure will fall off unless you can support it from some other place. Now, it's important to note that when you first place something down, there'll be a moment or two when it will appear green before changing to its actual colour. This will give you a moment where you might be able to slam another piece in to add some extra strength. During the early parts of the game, while you're running around the meadows looking for wood and stone, you might come across some old structures left behind by people before you. These ruins often contain beehives, and if you can manage to destroy them, you might get yourself a queen bee. Queen bees allow you to construct your own beehives later in the game, and this is really important for creating mead. The easy and safest way to get these beehives is to shoot it from range with a bow. So if you're running around and you haven't got your bow yet, open up your map and put a marker on the spot where your beehive is, come back and get it later. After a good night's sleep, you're going to notice that your character will gain a status called Rested. While rested, you'll gain a boost to your XP that you gain from doing activities such as cutting wood or swimming. The duration of this will depend on the comfort of your home, and there are a few things that you can do to improve this comfort level. The last 2 tips concern after you've defeated the first boss, and it's all around metal and the things you can use it for. So firstly, by the time you defeated the first boss, you're probably starting to think about looking for a new place to settle and making a much bigger, grander Viking village. This is going to require a lot of resources, which means you're going to have to run around quite a lot, collecting resources and bringing it home. And unfortunately, your Viking is only capable of carrying so much. This is where a cart comes into things. You can run around with a cart, pushing it yourself of course, and you can load that up with a whole stack of resources, allowing you to spend more time gathering and less time running backwards and forwards. A cart will set you back 20 wood, but it also requires 10 bronze nails, and that's why you need to wait until after you've defeated the first boss. It's easy to overlook how important a cart is for this resource gathering, but I strongly recommend building one and going out and harvesting as much as you can. The final tip concerns actually setting up your metal production. You see, it's easy enough to find copper and tin ore in the Black Forest. However, you need a way of converting these into ingots, and for that you're going to need a smelter and you're going to need a charcoal kiln so you can create the charcoal to keep the furnace going. Both of these require a resource called circling cores, and you're going to need 5 each for a smelter and a kiln. So where do you find these cores? Well, you're going to need to travel into the Black Forest, and what you're looking for is a thing called a burial chamber. These crypts will usually have a group of skeletons guarding them, and if you're quick about it, you can probably dart past them and get in. However, once you get inside, you're going to find. So come prepared for a fight, and always try and prioritize killing the evil bone piles where you can, because they'll spawn more skeletons. However, clearing one of these dungeons out will usually get you about 4 to 5 circling cores. And that's the tips. If you've got any other great tips you'd like to share, pop the comments below. And if you found this video useful, please consider subscribing. Until next time, keep gaming.